Like before we start, you guys could like look at me the whole time when I ask the question, or like if Lorena like asks the question, like you could look at her.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. I'll be looking
Beautiful.
All the time.
Of course,
I
yes.
know that's right. All right, are you guys ready?
Yes,
We
sir.
are.
All right. All right, you guys, I'm recording. All right, before we start, can you both spell out your first and last names for me?
Jennifer, Jennifer, Landry, Landry.
Chad Landry, ChadLandry.
All right, you guys, and kind of like your titles as well.
Sure.
Chad Landry, co-founder of Speaking to Inspire Through Experience, and also board vice president. And also, we doing you cutting and all that, right? So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So we don't have to advertise. I mean, announce the other because
we talk about Speaking to Inspire.
Yeah.
And I am Jennifer Landry, co-founder of Speaking to Inspire Through Experience, as well as executive director of the organization.
All right, you guys. Now, of course, I have some questions for you guys. Of course, about overcoming of course your drug addiction. Now, my first question would be for you, Mr. Landry. Kind of tell me about that, and also how you kind of overcame your drug addiction.
Well, I started using drugs and alcohol at around 12 years old, and it gave me a way of escaping the things I was going through, abuse issues, neglect, and things of that nature. And as I got older, it continued to progress, and it caused me to go in and out of jail, in and out of prison, in and out of rehabs and detoxes. And the last sentence I got was a 10-year jail sentence in 2005. And then I went to a work release facility where I met my wife. She was actually working at the work release facility. And we just used to talk about like God, life, the Bible, things like that. And we just kind of hit it off. And when I got out of prison, I relapsed on the drugs. Addiction is a very serious, is very strong in a person's mind. It's hard to even explain how it's almost like powerless, being powerless over the thought and compulsion to want to use. And as I continued to use, it would hurt me because I would be using drugs and putting my life in danger and hurting my wife. And so continuing to see her hurt became too painful. And I had enough, It's a little over 3 years ago when I quit totally from everything. I had been working on recovery before that. About 10 years ago, I started working on reprogramming my thinking, changing my mindsets and belief systems. And a little over 3 years ago, I quit. I totally quit. And with some help from other programs, a lot of prayer, a lot of support from my wife, and a lot of determination.
Yeah, and I kind of want to talk more about that. I want to go to you, Miss Jennifer. When you first met, Mr. Landry, just tell me how you guys hit it off.
Like he said, it was just, a friendship thing. We were having conversations because I did work there. So he would come over, we would talk about the Bible, we talk about just life in general. And we hit it off. He got out. Well, actually, he went back. He went back to prison. And we actually got married while he was in prison. We got married 1 month before he was set to come out. So, yeah. And, it started off as a friendship, and we've been together for 14 years.
Still my best friend.
Yeah, 14 years. Yeah.
That's good. And I want to talk about, of course, like life now. How is life, now for both of you guys?
Life is beautiful. I made a commitment, through all my prayers, that, if I could be blessed with getting clean, that I would show my wife for the rest of my life how much I really loved her and how much I appreciated her and appreciate her sticking with me for all those years. So what I do daily is how can I show her how much I love her and how much I appreciate her. And that motivates me and pushes me to keep going and keep pushing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I kind of want to talk about, of course, that moment like after you guys, got married. Now, of course, I was gonna get to that later. The book, the book that you wrote,
Yes.
but kind of talk about, just like the journey that you guys, both had to, of course, helping, Mr. Landry, get over that addiction.
It was hard. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever endured. Because, like he said, addiction is very powerful. And I have had experience in the past with people that were addicted to different substances, but never, like this. We were in the long term, long haul. So I dealt with a lot of pain. I would cry. I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I would pray, and I would just, ask God to please bless me with at least a month, because you have to understand, he was doing this almost every single day. And that was for how many years?
About 12, no, about 9 years.
9 years, almost every single day of drug addiction. So I have experienced everything from going to in the neighborhoods and retrieving my personal property because the drugs had him getting rid of it. I've come face to face with people, because I think a lot of people feel like if you are on drugs, they can speak to you any kind of way, they can talk to you any kind of way, they can treat you any kind of way, and I wasn't gonna have that. I never allowed anybody to disrespect him, and that, was it smart for me to get out there? Probably not, but this is my husband, and I have his back through it all. So it was very hard. I dealt with a lot of backlash from my family, my children, my friends. I dealt with it, but at the end of the day, I knew that this was somebody that I wanted to be with no matter what. I knew inside of him there was the greatest potential ever. I knew it because when I first met him, I saw those things. He wasn't on drugs. So I saw the love, I saw the compassion, and I knew it was still in there. So I refused to just let it go. I refused to let it go. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did not. We are still here. And he's amazing.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Lorena, do you have any, questions that you might want to ask?
What, if you don't mind me asking, what drugs did you struggle with? Like,
Crack and alcohol
Okay.
was the two main drugs I would mix together.
okay, and how long have you been?
Since about 15.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, how long I've been clean?
Yes, sorry. I thought you meant 15
Oh,
years.
Yeah, a little over 3 years.
3 years. Okay, awesome. I think that's all I had. Was that all in Lafayette? Like,
No, it was actually, I'm from New Iberia, but
Mhm.
my wife and I lived in Lake Charles together.
Mhm.
And then we moved to Lafayette after Hurricane Laura. So, and so for like 6 months of us being out here, I was still using. But like for the last maybe 2 or 3 years of it, it was not as often. I was getting tired. I was really getting tired of doing it. And I was really pushing harder not to do it. So it was maybe every 2 to 5 days or something like that.
Mhm.
And I just had enough, and that's when I knew I was done.
For sure. And what was that? Did you have like a moment where you were like, yeah, like a specific moment where you're like, yeah, I'm done?
It was like a period of a month. Like I could feel myself getting tired. I started feeling like, I was afraid to die. I was afraid to die high. A lot of people were overdosing on fentanyl, being mixed with with every drug. So that was a fear. I was afraid to die and leave my wife alone in that situation. I didn't want her to have to deal with that kind of pain because I seen the pain she went through when her daughter got murdered, and I watched her endure that, and how that broke her, and I didn't want to add to that. So all these thoughts were coming to me over a period of about a month, and I just I knew I was getting tired, and I just had enough, and I told her, I said, I'm done, and that was it. I never looked back.
Do y'all have kids together? No kids. Okay, got you. And I think that's all I had.
So, yeah. Okay. I have to ask you guys, of course, it's been, kind of like, a slippery slope for you, Mr. Landry, but, being able to, of course, overcome that drug addiction, what does that mean to you and also to you guys' relationship? How has that, made your relationship stronger, just, being there for each other, throughout everything?
It really strengthened it because I already knew, because of everything we've been through, and we never gave up on each other, especially her never giving up on me. I knew we was together forever, and this just like sealed the deal. It's like, and it's put us in a position to strive harder than ever. Like for success, to show other people that they can succeed, especially the youth. A lot of youth have different mindsets, and we want to let them know that they can be successful. Other people that may be struggling with addiction or homelessness, because I was homeless a couple of times in my lifetime. To let anybody know that, man, if you want something bad enough, and if you put your mind to it, there's help out there, there's resources. You can find that strength within yourself to get to another level and to keep pushing and to be effective in life and in the community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, tell me the question again. Look, I got caught up.
Oh, it's okay. I want to say, how has, everything that you guys have been through, how has that made you guys' relationship, stronger over time?
He's my best friend. He's my world, and I honestly I couldn't imagine my life without him. We're able to spend time together now. We go every night for the last week. We've been playing cards. So we sit in the bed and we play cards together. Those are things we didn't get a chance to experience. And I remember him telling me, if I stick by him through the slope he was going through, just stick by him, and when he came out on the other side, he would show me the world. And he's been doing it ever since. I mean, literally, we're not perfect. We're perfect for each other. But he's been wonderful. So yeah, I'm grateful.
That's good. Now, I also want to talk about, of course, your book. Now, kind of tell me, what made you want to, of course, create this book. Not only to, be vulnerable, and just be transparent, of course, in what you guys have been through, but also, for other people, who might read.
Yes. So, I actually did two, but right now we're going to talk about this one. So, Together in Recovery, a partner's journal for healing. A lot of times, and people would ask me all the time, why did you stay? Why, if he took you through all of this, why did you stay? And a lot of times women don't stay, they leave. Because not everybody is as strong as I am. And that's okay. I wrote it because I want people to understand what it's like being in a relationship with an addict. It's not only a book, it's a journal. And it has activities for whoever has the book to follow. Things like write this down, spend time with yourself, and just kind of touch on specific points of being a spouse or a loved one of an addict. It's hard. It's so hard. And a lot of times people think that they're in this by themselves, and they're not. They are, I'm sure, millions of other people just like me out there in the world. And my goal is to, just be vulnerable and help the next person understand that they're not alone. So, yeah.
All right. I think I have just a couple of more questions for you guys. So I think I kind of asked this, when we first began the interview, but kind of tell me, of course, about the work you guys do in the community, now.
Yes. So, which our organization?
Yeah, like
Okay.
your organization, also like the other organizations
Okay, no
you're part of. Yeah.
So with Speaking to Inspire Through Experience is a non-profit organization we started last year, where we do mentorship for at-risk and underserved youth, as well as we do speaking. So we go out and we speak to different people, about our life stories because it's, life experiences. I create workshops. So I do some workshops through our organization. And what is the word? We do communication. I do a communication workshop, which is very, very dear to me. It's to help bridge that communication gap between a parent and their child. Because like you mentioned, I lost my daughter. My daughter was killed in 2016. So communication is important. Because of the new laws that are passed, and now there is, the concealed carry for 18-year-olds. I'm in the process now of creating a workshop that'll teach youth how to interact with the police. All of the do's and don'ts to prevent anything bad from happening. We also work with families and friends of Louisiana's incarcerated children, where we advocate for incarcerated youth, as well as we teach parents, our loved ones, guardians, how to advocate for their children if they are experiencing something like a suspension or expulsion in school. And you want to talk about Rolla?
Also we are chapter organizers for Rolla, Residents Organized for Housing, an organization out of New Orleans, where we're building up a chapter of advocates, resident-led advocates, to advocate for affordable housing and affordable insurance.
And we work with a lot of different organizations throughout Lafayette. Anytime there's something going on, we try our best to be a part of it. Yeah.
At the end, can I give them our phone number?
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. You got any more questions?
Are y'all full-time activists?
Yeah.
Well, everything we do, like I'm also a peer support specialist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a life coach.
Mm-hmm.
We're advocates. We're activists. So all of those jobs.
Got you. But so all your jobs are centered around your community, basically. Okay, got you.
Everything. Yeah.
Got you. So I think that's all I had.
All right. I think I just have one more question for you guys. Now, I want to kind of ask you guys, of course, just talking about everything that you guys have been through. Now, for anybody out there who, like you said, may feel like, of course, they're, alone while trying to, of course, recover, from drug addiction, what would you just tell them just about, of course, like the process and just about how, like you said, they're, not alone while going through it?
I would tell them to reach out to, there are different programs in Lafayette, like Al-Anon, there are NA and AA organization, or is that
meetings
meetings that you can attend. I go to the meetings with him, and I am not in recovery, but I go there to support my husband. So yes, definitely reach out to me, and by all means reach out to me. I don't mind. I will sit down and talk to whoever and whenever. Yes.
All right, Mr. Shades, you got anything to add?
I just want to add, if anybody would like a copy of the book, give us a call at 337-304-6860. Or if anyone would like to book us for speaking engagements or to speak to their youth or are interested in their youth becoming a part of our mentorship program, we would love to help. And that's all I have. And keep pushing and never give up and believe in yourself.
Yeah, because we do.
All right, y'all. Before we end the interview, I want to ask you guys, is there anything else that you'd like to, maybe add, before we end?
Yeah, well, actually, I have another one real quick. So I also have another book. It's called Cleansing the Bloodline, Unshackling the Chains of Ancestral Trauma. So this is also a good book, and this one is about ancestral trauma. It's similar to this one. It's a journal. It talks about the ancestral trauma, about overcoming it, and also has activities. So this is also an absolute great book. I love this book as well. So yes, everybody didn't realize that ancestral trauma is real within us. Yeah.
I don't think I have anything. Any final words?
No, you go. You know you're the speaker.
I already said it, just believe in yourself. You can accomplish anything you want to do. I mean, you are absolutely filled with greatness, gifts, and talents. Everything that you need to succeed is already on the inside of you. You just have to believe it. You have to reach inside and cause those gifts and talents to manifest and exercise them. Feed your mind in a positive way, because everything that we put into our subconscious thinking is like being programmed like a computer. So if you're not satisfied with the life you're living, put in some new information, practice some new habits, do prayer, meditation, affirmations. All those things help build up your mindset.
And can I say one thing real quick? So one thing that he says all the time, and this may not be the right place for it, but one thing he says all the time is what if. I love that. What if? What if things never change?
Yeah, what if things never change? What are you gonna do then? What if it falls back on us? Like a lot of times we waiting on external circumstances to change before we could be happy. Whether it's the laws we fight for, the laws to change, or the government to do something different. What if those things never change? Then what are we gonna do? Are we gonna keep waiting on those things to change and be miserable and let those things control our mindset or control our happiness? Or are we gonna go out there and create the life that we want for ourselves and our kids and our children and the youth and society?
That's it.
That's wonderful, you guys. I'm sorry. One more question just popped into my head. All right. I kind of want to talk about, lastly, of course, your relationship again. What, Mr. Chad, what does Miss Jennifer mean to you? Miss Jennifer, what does Mr. Chad mean to you? Like, what do you guys, mean to just, each other? Talk about just the love that you guys have for each other.
Well, I couldn't imagine my life without my wife. And I really want to point out something very important, that a lot of times we get in relationships and we talk about love, and what we're looking for is that feeling, that physical, tingly feeling that we get inside. Our body does produce chemicals, which produces feelings. But what love really is action. Love in action. How do I show this person each day I love them? Through their faults, through their flaws, compromise with each other, communicate with each other, really listen to hear, not listen to respond, and build that communication with each other, and pay attention to what the other person is saying, and take them seriously, and that's really what I have to say about love and about relationships.
And I'm just looking. Like I said before, he's my best friend. Absolutely my best friend. And I've been through a lot of traumatic experiences. I've been through a lot. I've lost a lot. I've been through a lot. And sometimes I find myself like literally broken, because I know one day we won't always be together. We've been together for 15 years. We've been married 15 years. And to imagine my life without this man here breaks me down so bad, because he's been my rock. Like, we're not perfect. Trust me, we're not perfect. We fuss just like any other any couple, but life without him, I am not ready for it. That's the love of my life. He is. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, I don't think I have any more questions. So if not, that is it.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.